Council Lady Murray.
Thank you. This is a really, I know we have a lot of support for this legislation tonight. I think that we should go ahead and move for approval and continue the discussions in the meeting. So I ask that you all support this. I'm the one that organized probably 2 or 3 of these different neighborhood associations. I had to down zone the entire neighborhood. There are several properties in our district that needs to be rezoned. I did a massive zoning just to get things stabilized and under control in 2004 and 2007. And I was told, I met with the Planning Commission again today, department, and I also met with the Codes Department, and technically the property is in compliance according to Bill Penn until we get this passed. So I met with Codes Department, and he said technically it's in compliance and that they're just waiting on this to move for the approval through the council, and then they can move forward. It's boarded up. There are several properties that may come forward after what's going on in our district. We've really cleaned up the district, so that's why this is one that we went after that needed to be rezoned. Yes, he was out of compliance at one time, but now technically I was told that it's in compliance because it's been vacated for more than 2 or 3 months. It's boarded up, it's secured, and no one's living there. It goes before the courts tomorrow because that's the process, and the courts is waiting on us to move the process forward. And if it moved forward, then once it's approved through the council, then it's going to be dismissed by the courts because everything is technically is in compliance according to Bill Penn. Now, I just want you all to know that there's a lot of support for this development, and we would like to do more. I'm the one that had to fight to get the development across the street at the Eastland, and they didn't want that, but once they got it, they're happy with that. So I think that we should allow the process to take place and move forward. So I really do ask your support for this legislation tonight.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Second. Council Lady Bennett.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I rise as a property owner in the area. I have a property about 4 blocks from this subject property, and I have to say, I've looked at it over the years. It's not an attractive property, and I really do not approve of what's been suggested here myself as a property owner. I don't think it's in the best interest of the community. I don't think it's the best interest of the residents who would want to rent there. We all do this for a reason. For many of us, it's because we were in the exact same situation as those folks out there. I know for myself, I had a council member who wanted to bring in something that the community did not want, and we could not get that person to listen to us. And thankfully, we were able to appeal to Councilman Craddock, and he stood up for us. And there are other members here that stood up for us as well. And we do appreciate all their support. But I say that to remind all of us why we do this. We do this to improve our community. And I respect Council Lady Murray. We don't always agree on the issues, but I know she's trying to do what she thinks is best. But I have to say, I've attended 4 of her 7 meetings with the community on this issue, and I have not seen a resident that attended these meetings that were for it. So with that, I just respectfully have to ask you to please vote no on this issue. We do want affordable housing in East Nashville and all over Nashville, but I think it's taking unfair advantage of folks who cannot afford much to put them in a little over 300 square foot of space with no firewall, no smoke detection, no secondary egress. It is flat taking advantage of folks, and I think it's wrong, and I ask you to vote no. Thank you.
Councilman Cole. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I guess I have a question for the planning staff. I heard a couple times discussion of a development at the property, and I don't see anything in the staff report describing said development, what it would look like. I think it says the site plan's been waived. Can somebody kind of give me a sketch of what the proposed development, if indeed there is one, is?
There's already an existing building, a fourplex on the property that is illegal non-conforming use, and this rezone would allow that to become, would make it a legal use. It would allow for 4 units on the property.
So it's simply to clarify the legal, the issues that have existed on the property in the past. There is no proposed additional development
That's
at
correct.
this time.
That's correct. They couldn't get permits to improve the property or to bring it up to code standards without the rezoning.
I kind of agree with Council Lady Bennett. We're being asked here to correct a legal wrong through our zoning code, and I drive past this piece of property every day, just about. It has been a headache, continues to be a headache, and I'm concerned about the precedent we set tonight, especially if we've got a pending court decision tomorrow afternoon. It seems like if we should do anything, we should defer this legislation, but I'm sorry, I'm going to have to be opposed also.
Thank you. Council Lady Murray.
I know we have a lot of support out there, so I'll go ahead and defer one meeting, and I ask that the council members do come to the meeting, and because there is a lot of support for this legislation, so I'll go ahead and defer one meeting if that's your request. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second for a deferral. Is there discussion on the deferral? Councilman Atkins.
I'm getting confused. How many times, can somebody answer how many times this has been deferred? John, our attorney, maybe.
It's been deferred for, I think, a couple public hearings. This one has, okay, those are the other two. No, it has not been deferred. In zoning bills, there is no limit on deferrals. It was deferred one time. It was up at the May public hearing, and it was deferred to the July public hearing. But there is no limit on zoning deferrals.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion to defer? Councilman Craddock.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm going to vote against deferral. We need to get this over tonight. My friend sitting here beside me moved to approve this, and then she changed her mind. These people have been up here twice that I know of, and that's enough. We need to vote up or down, however you feel. I'm personally going to vote against the main motion if we ever get there, but I'm also going to vote against the deferral right now because we need to be done with this. We're yanking these people's chains. That's what we're doing by coming up here time and time again. Let's be done. Let's vote one way or the other.
Council Lady Murray.
I think you all have this legislation confused with something else. This is the first time we've had the people come forward for this legislation. I think you all are getting it confused with another legislation that took place on Cleveland Street, and that was deferred indefinite. So it was killed on the floor. So this one is something totally different. This is not the same legislation. And this is the first time that the people have come forward, and I think we have a lot of support. Can I see the support out there? We have a lot of support out here for this legislation. I did ask the neighbors not to spend a lot of time standing before you. Just let one speak so that we don't have to be here for a long time. But there's a lot of support for this legislation in the neighborhood. We worked very hard to get to this point. At one time, there were a lot of properties out of zone. We did a massive rezoning, downsizing just to get our neighborhood under control on 2 different occasions. And so this is just some of those, another one of those that's come about that needs to be stabilized. We'll probably have a few more to come, but this is the process, and we do have a lot of support for this, and I would really appreciate your support. Thank you.